All right, welcome back. What's the truth? What's not the truth? Who knows? I mean, it's a heated debate. The Minority Judicial District, and what happened in Baton Rouge, what didn't, I guess we'll know, and that's why we haven't set a name yet. We're going to wait to see if there's an investigation, where the investigation goes, what comes out of it. Depends on who you ask, I guess. Let's go to the phone lines. Got a couple of phones ready to go. HTV, welcome to Bayou Time. Go ahead, please. How you doing?
Talked about tonight. The only thing I'm calling about, I want to know how Mr. Jim is doing.
Jimmy is doing good. He was released today and is on his way back home.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
my prayers was with him.
Yeah, he did pretty good on the surgery. I think they removed a little part of the lobe and about 5%. And he was in good spirits when I talked to him, and I think he did fine, did real good. So I told him a lot of people had asked about him, so he was happy about that, and he appreciated it.
I'm sure glad he's doing all right, and I'm glad your dad is doing all right, and I'm going to let you have a good evening, and thank you for taking the call, Jim.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. HTV, welcome to the program. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Martin.
Yeah.
Good luck to Jimmy.
Thank you. He'll appreciate it.
We miss him.
Yeah.
Look, about this, Jerome Barkin just came on TV.
Yeah, I know. I was here.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I was watching this.
All right.
What we gonna do, bro? We let the North Louisianians cut Lafourche and Terrebonne in half. Now this come up. It's another representative from North Louisiana and a coward, Baldon, that try to pass this. Baldon is a coward because he wasn't man enough to pass it himself, and I guess this is his last time to run. Just like Butch Gautreaux and Joel Chasson. Let the North representative cut up our parishes. Mm-hmm. They should have voted with us. Now this deal here, I believe in at large. A qualified man. You see Colin Powell run for president today, I'll vote Colin Powell against anybody. And I'm white. Mm-hmm. I mean, this Barkin in there, that goes to show you what kind of organization the NAACP is. They are a racist organization. They are. Because look what happened at the Capitol now. They're threatening these representatives.
Well, that's alleged now. Let's make sure we say
that.
Well,
hold up. Exactly, it's alleged. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll find out because I got somebody. I'll find out for sure.
Okay.
What was said. But notice that organization, the cop got shot in Laverdeville. This woman with the state trooper that checked that threatened these kids from Laverdeville. Mm-hmm. That you never heard no more about that. That's the type of things the NAACP go after.
Well, it's because the NAACP dropped that one because HTV, we launched an investigation into
They were wrong.
Yeah, and they dropped that completely.
But it's racist.
Right.
And just like he said, like Joe Harrison is a top-notch dude, bro. You know, I don't know Gordy Dub that good, but I know Joe Harrison he shoots from the hip. And he's an honest man. And to cut this man down from the likes of Jerome Barkin, that don't even add up, bro.
All right, we appreciate your call, and we have Mr. Barkin. He's entitled to his opinion. You're entitled to yours.
And
Joe's
I'm entitled to mine.
You are, absolutely.
And I hope the people out there realize that. Another little thing I want to say, Martin, I read last night, just right quick. They're talking about taking these levees they built back to stop this flooding down. How ignorant is the Army Corps of Engineers to be taking these levees down now?
Yeah.
The next hurricane, they got to rebuild them.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
You read about that?
Yeah, I know, and I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we'll see for sure. We'll fight it.
Well, look into that because that is an ignorant move.
All right. Well, let me go. I got to get another line. Martin. Thank you. Have a good night. HTV, welcome to the program. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Martin.
Good evening. Go ahead.
I kind of agree with you, Martin. It's a process, and I think there's a disagreement with the process. When I heard the name Russell Fazio mentioned, I can understand where the confusion is coming from. I went to high school with Russell Fazio, and
All right, hold it. Don't go too. I don't want to libel anybody. If the representative did say his name, so he said he was in the committee, but make sure, be careful what you say, okay? Just
Yeah,
talk
well-
about the process, if you don't mind.
well, if the process is confused, I understand why by the mention of certain people's names. But coming back to the past, I understand what you're saying, that it's a process, and there's a question about the process. Now, Joe Harrison, I don't think he would deny that he's not for diversity. And I don't believe Joe Harrison would deny that he is not for a minority judicial district. But it's the process by which we make that possible. And I think that's where he and Mr. Boyskin is bypassing themselves with their meaning. And as for the future of a minority judicial district, I believe that's possible. I think it's likely. And I think it's going to have a lot to do with how that process takes place in the future.
Yeah, you know, and I sort of agree with you, but I had conversations today with several key players in elections in Terrebonne Parish, and I think, I could be wrong, and I won't mention the name until they officially come up. I think once Judge Ellender is forced to retire, which is soon, that's going to be an at-large seat, that you will see a black candidate in that race for judge. And I guess the point that a lot of people have tried to make is that in today's times, it don't matter what color you are in Terrebonne Parish. If you are a good attorney, if you have good moral standards, if you represent this parish well, you can win for judge no matter what color you are. And there are about, you know, I don't know all the black judges in Terrebonne Parish, but I do know this. There are several of them that if they got in a race, there has not been a black candidate in a race since '94. But if they get in a race today, they would have a good chance of winning that race.
Well, Martin, I believe the easiest way to make a minority judicial district is the next judgeship that comes up, that becomes vacant, all they have to do on the registration to become a candidate is to require you to be a minority. And that way any minority can apply and register, and that would become the seat right there.
Yeah, but that would be unconstitutional, and you know it. That would never pass it. You think that would pass a court test?
Well,
To make an at-large seat, across the parish, just minority voting, I don't know if that would ever fly. Let everybody vote. Let everybody vote, because the proponents of this bill that are so adamant about it might be shocked that a black could win an at-large position. And I think a few of them really could. What do you think?
Well, we might have to wait 50 years for that to happen.
No, I think
don't
if
disagree
Judge
that it's
Ellender,
possible.
if Judge Ellender retires, which is coming up, and a black candidate gets in that race, he could win. We could have a black judge shortly in Terrebonne Parish.
That's possible, but I wouldn't want to wait another 50 years, Martin.
Well, I understand, but I'm just saying, you're right. It's a whole different argument, but in order to win a judgeship, don't you have to run?
Well,
And no one's run since '94. We're in 2011.
What I heard, this was supposed to be put on fast track, and it was supposed to have already passed the state Supreme Court muster. So, to me, I think we need to strike when the metal is hot, and I think it won't come up again this session. So
No, you're
there's
right.
another delay right there. So we're going to have to come up with a way to get this on board so we can get behind it.
That's true, and here's what I recommend, okay? Here, as a citizen, not as a journalist, seeing this whole thing take place, tell me if I'm wrong or right. Everybody ought to get in a room, close the door, sit down. I'm not talking about just Democrats or Republicans separately. I'm talking about everybody, including a representative from the judges, a representative from the appellate court, representative from the Supreme Court, because all this has to be legal. Then you take representatives from your community, at-large representatives, and you get everybody in a room together and you say, okay, what is the method we're going to decide? Because people didn't vote no against a black being a judge. They voted no for the method that was used. So if you change the method to where everyone likes it, you got your election.
Hey, look, maybe if there were not irregularities, maybe Gordy Dove and Joe Harrison would have been behind the method that was used. But it seems to me like when they discovered that there was irregularities and they were not making concessions for the irregularities that were found, it seems to me that's when they turned tables.
And that's what they told me. Now, I can't read their mind, and I don't want to. Mr. Boykin thinks a different way, and he's entitled to that. They think a different way. But the only way to resolve this is for everybody to sit at a table and get past these accusations in the House, because I don't know what was screamed or what wasn't screamed or what was alleged or whatever. But if that can be cleared and we get past that, then everybody sit down and work it out.
Well, before they get together, Martin, they're going to have to tone down that rhetoric. And they're going to have
I
to have
agree.
a friendly, cooperative atmosphere from which to work. And you have a good night, Martin.
Thank you. I appreciate the call.
And I hope we see Jimmy soon.
He's going to be here soon, I promise you. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Stan Gravois on the desk with some guests, and we're going to continue this talk. But I agree with the last caller. The rhetoric would have to come down a bunch so that people can communicate. Stan Gravois next. Don't go away.